I am here with Alpha Henry. He's an entrepreneur who has successfully fused his passion for gaming and esports into impactful advocacy and enterprise. And let me tell you something, we are talking about investing in esports, a new alternative for education, tourism, and innovation. And this is going to highlight esports as a cross-sector opportunity for education, entrepreneurship, and even sports tourism. Because listen, we need to diversify the economy, and then don't believe me when I say these things. Alpha, welcome to Freedom 106.5. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine, yes.
You're doing fine. You look fine. You're looking a little...
Slightly tired, but
you look so too. You're looking like you're a little nervous. You nervous?
No.
Oh,
Nice. I've been a few times already.
Ah, nice like a pie. So let's get straight into it. And guys, of course, you can send me those questions to WhatsApp 306-1065. You can even give me a call too. What I'll tell you when it's time to call me. Not yet, but you'll call me just now. Alright, so let's dive straight into it, Alpha. For the persons who don't know, you give me a little brief background on yourself and how did you get into esports?
Well, so basically, I started off, you can say, in 2007 when I actually worked at an arcade. That was in Town Center Mall. That is back when arcades were very rampant in Trinidad and Tobago. From there, I just loved video games. There were people who were constantly playing certain games that were interesting to me, and I say, well, this is something that could probably evolve into something bigger. When you go on YouTube and check different things, you see that gaming is actually something very big in other countries.
Yeah.
Not as big down here, but it was something at the time. The biggest tournament, I think, that year was a tournament called Arena that was held at the Esports Stadium.
Right.
I actually ran away from work literally. I missed 2-3 days of work just to go to see what this was about. And
wow.
From what I saw, I say this is
great.
it.
That is it. And you look so that was it.
Yeah, that
Party
was it.
done. Just that is it. I go in
Line
straight into gaming.
PCs, full games. I saw that people come in enjoying themselves for the entire weekend.
Nice.
Big up to Tupper. That was the guy who was in charge of the whole thing. I say, well,
nice.
From there I started to work with Tupper now. Just drop work.
Nice.
I never see that.
Oh god.
I just straight assisted him with the different activities he does. He does a lot of events and things like that, and I just followed along. I was young at the time, so I just wanted the experience to see exactly what was going on.
Nice.
From there now, well, unfortunately, my father threw me into the Coast Guard, so I didn't have a choice.
But
after that now, I developed and used what I had now to then create my own thing and started the business called Chrono Fantasy.
All right, great. Nice. So let's get into it. Alpha, for those unfamiliar, how would you define esports and how did it become a global billion-dollar industry almost overnight? Because as I will always say to all the guests who come here, big up Akilo Connor one time, I never knew about esports until about a month and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah, or 2 months.
Okay.
2 months ago.
Well, I think it was someone on your end gave me the call actually.
Yeah.
And I put you all on to Akilo Connor.
Oh, that was for we the youth. So
yes.
you see, right. So you see how the thing does go.
Yes.
I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
So but thanks to you then, Alpha. And thanks to Akilo Connor.
Big
up yourself, Akilo Connor. Yeah, big up yourself one time.
He was the best person, especially to articulate what it is going on in Trinidad and Tobago with regards to esports.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
so how would you define esports and how did it become a global billion-dollar industry almost overnight?
Well, I guess you could thank Japan for that. They are the people who made the games that we love, and as it kept going over the years, it just improved. Right. And from that now, the sport itself started to develop in the different countries. Then other federations and organizations were also built to actually regulate what is actually going on in the country.
Right.
On our end, how we tried is the different associations over the years to see exactly what is going on and what is needed within our realm, the different games that are popular.
Right.
Not just what is being played, because certain countries will have certain games they will be more regular, played more regularly. For us would be FIFA. obviously those children love.
Everybody else talk about that FIFA.
Love the FIFA, but there are other games that people probably wouldn't know about, but it's more popular in those other countries themselves,
right.
and that is what how the federation down here started, basically.
Right. Nice.
So it was myself and another gentleman called Quincy Charles saw the need to actually create the federation to start off something and then develop it from there. So you could say we are the people that try to bring the opportunities once it is available in the other countries. So we saw that, hey, there's a competition going on in this country.
Right.
Then we see if we could try to organize probably a qualifier to actually see who we could send, who's the best person to send to actually represent Trinidad and Tobago in the different games if there is a need for it.
Yeah.
So there's certain games that, hey, we could probably compete, but if we don't have like a regular meet where we could see who's the best players, we won't be able to know who's the better
you
person
won't
to
be
play.
able to know. Right.
So on my side of things, where just me, which is why I told you the business side of things, but on my end, I use that part of it to actually go to these schools, go to different areas, communities, and just bring game into them and see exactly what it is happening.
Because I know that, and based on the conversations we've had, especially with Akil and all the other guests that he had with him, you know, there are a lot of talent out there. Even our kids, even my child, you know, she plays some game, and it's only recently, like about 2 weeks ago, and I will say this because Akil told me, Carrie, oh gosh, can you yell a little up now? I used to say, what kind of stupidness is that you playing? But now she's playing this game, this farm game, and now I am being a little more receptive, and having conversations with Akila, like, you know what, Carrie, change your mindset. Because in my mind before, it was just game and it was wasting time. But that's not so. But let's talk about gaming in the Caribbean. How big is esports in the Caribbean really? Like, is there a niche, a thing, or even an emergent giant that we are sleeping on here in the Caribbean?
In the Caribbean, well, on our side of things, it is a niche for us personally. Other Caribbean countries actually now getting into the full development. One country that's way past us is Guadeloupe, because they are more affiliated with France.
Right.
France,
Yeah.
same thing. They more centered along that side, and their government actually push it on a very high level.
Oh.
Whereas they continuously travel from Guadeloupe to France, actually pushing it, developing it in their countries, their schools and other things. When I went there, I actually saw what it is they're doing. They have a lot of community-based events, not just you sit down here, come and play game. They have the senior citizens involved. They have the kids involved. They have the businesses full. They try their best to go to different, how he explained it to me, the person in charge of it. Go to the different businesses, not just one, not just two, not just probably a telecommunications company or radio station. Any small business, it could be a pharmacy, it could be a market. They go to them, they ask them, they tell them about what it is esports is, and they try their best to actually get them involved. If not just, okay, they probably at an age where they don't know what a video games is. And they get the people under them that probably know what it is, and they actually tell them about it and say, hey, okay, what's going on? Let our company, the same pharmacy, let them send a team. Let them do a team building event around what gaming is. And then they would know exactly what it is they are talking about. And from there is exactly what happened.
No, but that makes sense though. So that even down here, even here in Trinidad, they could start doing these little team builders.
Correct.
In the different organizations, and
that is exactly what I am doing part-time as well. I'm getting some companies involved to see how far it can actually reach, but it will come in a time eventually.
Wow, but that's crazy. That's really crazy. You see, this is why I like this program, you know, because these are things that we don't know, you know. But let's get back in. Let me do sidetrack, because as get all kind of questions in my head. So let me talk money. Let me talk money, because as I tell you, billion-dollar industry. We could get investments. We could even open up a gaming tourism here in Trinidad. What's your thoughts on it? Are we capable of creating that type of tourism here?
The tourism part, yes, definitely, because we already have. Well, this is the Caribbean, this is Trinidad and Tobago. We have the seas, we have the sites, we have everything that can actually bring people, probably from cold places that just want to get away from all of that and come to our country and do what they love to do. Gaming.
Right.
Exactly. So if it is start with a competition. Start with something that will bring them, give them an incentive to come to Trinidad and Tobago, and then from there you show them exactly what could be done on their off time once there's no big competition basically going on. They want a training center or something like that to actually develop their players, probably sightsee, just vacation, and we have all the equipment that they would need to actually do what it is they can as best as possible.
And this is what I was coming to ask. Do we have the resources or even the infrastructure for something like this?
At this time, no. The community is more, what we have is what they could get.
So like a community center then?
Correct.
And just carrying all the PCs and the internet and everything.
Right. So that is where I come in. I more have the equipment side of things.
Oh,
so
right.
The screens, the consoles, the controls.
Yes.
That is my thing.
All right. So money again, because everybody like money, right? Yeah. What's the actual earning potential for players, event organizers, and even the governments in the esports space? What's the actual thing? What we could really earn from this thing? Billions?
Not billions, not billions.
Millions?
Billions more come, billions more come on the development side of things.
Oh.
So the actual creation of the games is where you would see those kind of figures. On the esports side of things now, there is the potential to do that, but that is only if you are that good. You are constant in that.
But we that good. We Trinis, we the best at everything.
That is true.
Right. Just
however, it's not just one game you can rely on.
Oh, you have to be able to play multiple.
No, there are different games with a different price pool, basically.
Oh.
So the more popular game, obviously, would have the bigger price pool.
Okay.
Yes, we have people that play these games, but not as, I can't say, the community for that specific game. You have to be more. I'm trying to get the correct word.
Yeah, get the
correct word. But we'll come back to that one.
All right. But how can governments get involved in the esports arena? How can they get involved?
So that is something I am actually trying my best to work on because there are different ways you can go about it. Just as you said, Ministry of Tourism, that is one way we could go.
Right.
Ministry of Sport obviously would be the correct method to go.
Ministry of Education.
Getting the schools involved to
How
show
about
them
AI?
exactly.
AI and transformation. How about that? AI?
There's that too. So there are different ways. How I have tried it so far is through the Ministry of Sports. This year actually I'm trying to go through the Ministry of Education because this is not me, this is schools actually contacting myself.
Right.
To actually bring gaming to the schools.
Right.
They have, over this last month, there were a lot of schools calling me to come and do career days. Show them the different job specs you could actually get in esports.
Right.
Journalism, shoutcasting, these different things. And they are the ones say, hey, not just doctor, not just lawyer. There are different activities, there are different careers that you could actually develop. And you don't need to have but I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I don't want to bring the children but there are different. But
there are some persons, and this is both kids and adults, not all that academically inclined.
Right, that is.
However, they are good with their hands. They are good with thinking. They are good with critical, that kind of
they
way.
Like art.
Yeah,
they
you understand? And that is okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
Yeah. But I love that. So how has that been for you, dealing with the Ministry of Sport previously? Was it in your favor? Did it work? Was it successful? Tell me about your experience with that.
It was not successful in regards to, let me put an example, FIFA, the FIFA game. Yes, you would say that would be the Ministry of Sport. However, FIFA is football.
Right.
So that would fall under the TTFA.
Oh.
So
right.
certain things you actually had was to go to them first, then go to the Ministry of Sport with their approvals, and
the red tape.
It was a lot of run around. Whereas you had was to get this document carried there, and then that document, and
really,
and then and this was around 2014, 2015, and when the government changed, everything was lost.
Wow. So you have plans on going back to the Ministry of Sports again, or the minister that is?
The Ministry of Sports, possibly, but like I say, this wrongs. I feel I want to try going through the Ministry of Education or the Ministry of Youth Development.
That's
as well
too.
To see exactly if something could happen to make it a little faster, I guess.
Yeah, and they could probably liaise with each other and see how we can get the things done.
Yes.
So guys, send us those messages via WhatsApp 306-1065, and of course we will be taking your calls at 625-2257 or 627-3223. We are here with Alpha Henry, and we are talking about really the money part of esports. All right, so gaming tourism, we getting that US coming in here. Can esports realistically create full-time jobs for young people in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean? Or is it just really a hype? Or is it just like all you could get jobs, but, we ain't really seeing it? Could esports do that?
It could. Just like how, let's see if I can get a company. Like,
but don't call name.
Well, the phone company, people that actually do calls, call centers, basically.
Right.
Let me put it that way. They get that job or that to do that from other companies internationally.
Yeah.
And then from there they give it to a company down here to run it and get workers, things like that.
Right.
I believe it was you all had for that same thing with Akil, Jessica.
That's the lady who was building the games.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So exactly I was listening. I was listening to it. And exactly what she said, whereas it could be a big game developer out there looking for a company to do a specific thing. We could do the same thing in the esports side of things.
Oh.
And that would be one way actually to get Trinidad and Tobago on the map in terms of the games, the esports. And then from there, they could probably say, hey, here we're going on. Let's do something a little bigger.
Let me do something because they like the work was done by us. They like the work that was
done.
All right. Look, we have a call here. Let's take it. Let's hear who's there. Hola, buen dia.
Morning. Any special topic this morning?
We're talking about esports, gaming. Wait, now they Michael Jackson?
Okay to say something about the internal election?
No, not yet. Right?
All right, I'll call back then.
All right, lover, no problem. I want to talk about internal elections. That's nothing, man. We can talk about that after. 10:31. Let me get another one. So we can really, esports does have a way to create jobs, more or less.
Yes.
But, we have to be liaising with persons internationally to get that done.
But we could develop it down here once we have the correct framework to actually get it done.
But do we have developers?
We have developers. But remember, gaming and esports are two separate things. We could create, we could develop. But on the esports side of things, we need to get more community based. We need to go into the communities. We need to find these players, not just stay internally within our own zone and play within ourselves. We need to branch out and then compete and see if there are other better players out there. You can't just be winning internally.
You need to go outside there and face the big boys.
The true boys.
Yeah, face the big boys like Akil O'Connor. I could beat Akil O'Connor in a game in my mind. I just seen. I'm putting that out there for everybody to hear, right?
Yeah, so just to get that development going. And I went in just last week. I went to a school and this boy, what's the game? Fortnite. Me personally, I would get 5. I go destroy 5 people. This boy's score was 25 plus.
What?
And this boy in standard 5.
No, man.
If it is to develop this boy, he could make it very big out there.
And he could make the billions.
Correct.
Wow.
Same boy he aged, I think, what years? What? I think the first Fortnite tournament out there, the prize was $1 million. The boy was 12 years old.
I remember Akil spoke about that.
12 years old.
And he's a millionaire.
Wow.
Who are you waiting on, boy? Christmas?
So if we could get that kind of that forward,
Yeah.
basically. But problem with Trinidad and Tobago is that only happen because we are reactive. Only if somebody wins something big out there.
That is what, and this is the conversation that we have been having. We don't know unless somebody wins. Look at Shavana is her name.
Yeah.
Look, we didn't even know
Right.
unless they brought it to our attention, and that is we really reactive for real.
And that was the contact I provided. So
Right.
like I said, once there's something out there, I would bring it to the community and say, all right, they say they was looking for, they had a female tournament going on in Guadeloupe.
Yeah.
Find somebody. The only person that actually playing best right now female is Shavana.
But that's only because we don't know
Right.
the other diaspora of females who playing game, because I'm
Right.
very sure that it have other females playing game
Correct.
like me.
So
in
at
my
that
mind.
point in time, we had I said, well, we had to send her. So
yeah,
that is, we put that in place. We got her out there and she won.
Yeah, and she won it.
So the next step now is the trip to Nice, France.
Yeah.
In October for the, what is Evo?
Evo
2025.
Wow.
France.
Nice. Another one on money before we head to the break, all right? Have investors or international sponsors shown interest in Caribbean tournaments, and what are they looking for?
On the Caribbean side of things, not
Trinidad.
Not down here. I could say, like I told you, Guadeloupe, they already have the push in terms of that. Another one is Dominican Republic. They have high traffic. Well, same thing.
Yeah.
One guy won a very big competition, and then all of a sudden, more people want to come and sponsor what it is going on.
Oh.
So I think he was the big Street Fighter.
I remember that's what Akil told us about the guy from Dominican Republic, where we could have beaten Dominican Republic.
Yes, I heard that.
And then we just fall off, and then them winning. Why them had to win? We easy winners here, you know? I was a little hurt by that.
Which is why I say we need to get to the younger folks, get them involved, because our age group dying out. We had to bring them up now to that standard to go out there and compete.
Of course. But what can we do for something like that? How can we attract investors or international buyers? How can we do that?
Continue to play, show our skills. There are many different ways. There's what we're doing right now. There's YouTube, there's Twitch, different platforms where we can actually showcase our skills. Continue to do things on every week. Just do something. You don't have to be good. Just put yourself out there, because look, for example, not just the game development part of things, but once they could see that something is actually going on in the country on a regular, they will be more
receptive, then
to come.
They'll be like, all right, we seeing some talent here. Let me just look at this a bit. Because that's what usually happens.
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Thank you so much for that, Alpha. Guys, we're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll have some more conversations. Continue sending me those messages via WhatsApp, 306-1065. We are here with Alpha Henry as we are talking about investing in esports, a new alternative for education, tourism, and innovation. And we are highlighting esports as a cross-sector opportunity for education, entrepreneurship, and even sports tourism. So stay tuned for that. When we come back, we're going to be talking about legislation or even policies and what ministries can be involved. So when we come back, so much more of the discussion, so much more of the conversations. Continue sending me those messages, and we'll be taking your calls when we get back. Carrie V is here. I'm in the company. I'm going all the way to 12 noon. We'll be back.
She is fun.
Esports, and if it's really a money-making thing. And according to the interviews that we had before and other persons, this is $1 million industry, Alpha, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it? But we waiting on Christmas to get in there. We don't like money.
Development is a big thing. So the guy, Mr. Perusa, who was here before as well, the current and only esports coach in the country.
Wow.
He is the one who right now is pushing immensely for that development, and I am 100% on board to support what it is he's doing.
Nice.
Because we need that push. We need the push.
Now, you've met with government ministries such as the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Sport. What kind of support or even resistance have you received regarding esports as a legitimate sector? Tell us about that experience.
Well, the main thing obviously is gaming. That is that's not a sport. That's the first thing some people say. The age brackets, that generation would only see that as
Wasting
time. They won't see it as something that could actually help develop the minds, develop what it is actually going on, help with brain activity. There are certain games you could play and on a regular, and it'll just be a regular thing. You could perform faster, things like that. My daughter I didn't even know she could have done the Rubik's Cube.
Are you serious?
She was a regular on Minecraft and these other games, and then now I just gave her the Rubik's Cube and the girl finished it in probably under 2 minutes. I said, what
you saying? And you didn't even know that?
I didn't even know she could do that.
Wow, because there are games for critical thinking. And a lot of these games now that these youths play, it's surrounding that. Yeah. So I don't know, what do you think you can share with these persons in the ministries? How can you change their minds? What can you say to them? What do you think they need to hear to change their minds?
I would say with the currently what going on in the schools with the fighting and these other things, I could say you could bring something like esports to actually help some children. I've been to, one secondary school I've been to, the teacher literally told me, this boy, they were playing games at the time. This boy do not communicate with nobody. The boy sitting down, he is playing the game, he is interacting with the kids and them. He said, this boy don't talk to anybody. How will you get this boy to say, no, it's the game. They're playing FIFA, of course. So obviously, hey, this man's go. This man, winning. He enjoying himself. And he said, no, we need to do this on a regular because this boy normally is always quiet, always by himself. But he see the interaction with the children and he wanted to be a part of it. And now hopefully he more communicated, but that was only one day I was there. But if they bring like a club or create something where it could be something that on a regular where he could see, hey, it's something he like, the other children like, and have something to talk about basically in the school. We could go that route.
And you think that can minimize or reduce the school violence?
Correct.
You think so? Because, I mean, they need something to get our energy out there. Yeah, I mean, as teenagers, they need that avenue to get all that anger, frustration, even hurt sometimes, because we don't know what some of these children are facing at home. So having a club like this esports in the schools, I think it's a good avenue to get them out there. And you agree, right?
Because not everybody would like a cricket, like a football.
True. Or like to go outside.
In
the
the
rain
space.
or the sun, like me.
Just like to stay inside.
And I don't like sun.
Exactly.
So
give them some other activity to do. There are schools that already started it, and it's starting to get it, but obviously it is still seen as wasting time.
Right.
So it's to get the ministry, to show the ministry that no, it's not. This is something that once it's developed, you can, it could get bigger. It could help with a lot of things.
It could help with a lot.
Do
you think our current education or even youth policies here in Trinidad and Tobago are outdated when it comes to digital careers such as esports or even AI?
Well, just as the new ministry, the AI, they are trying. So hopefully it could get bigger, reach further, and we could see higher development. But again, it's a age group thing. So the old heads would probably take some time to get to know what it is they're doing, but the people that are coming up now into the working world would already have some kind of knowledge
of it. Because we're relatively young, and we are the gap that bridge the old and the new. I would say we are the glue that hold the both together. What's needed to officially recognize esports as a sport in our industry here?
Right now, I could only
What's
say...
needed?
Why?
Not the internet.
Well...
We don't need the internet. Do we?
Actually, if I am honest, the speeds we are getting is not the speed we get in other countries getting.
What are you saying?
I can guarantee that.
Oh, gosh. I thought that was just a...
No, but we could get there, but in terms of esports... like fighting games for one, you need it is more what it is. You come in person.
Right.
not online. Online games can stay online, but you see, find certain games, you had to be local. You had to be down here. You had to play with your friends. You had to keep that development, which is why the development of actually getting people here to compete, bringing other countries and challenging them. Hey, okay, 1 year we come Trinidad, 1 year we go Barbados, another year we go to another country.
Right.
Keep that development within the Caribbean going, and then we could reach further. Because it's not just one game. Look, for example, you have the other esports. To have dancing. Look, I won a dancing competition.
What do you mean?
I won 2 dancing competitions in Guadeloupe.
What you saying?
Back to back.
What dancing game is that?
I played, the game I played was Dance Central.
Dance Central?
Yeah, that was in 2016. And I went back again 2017 and I win again. I think when I won that one, I won a trip to the New York.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Carrie V, I used to see it as wasting time, but listening to your program on esports and being around my 5 grandsons, I'm seeing it different now. My 11-year-old grandson is now in the process of building a game. So I agree with esports being introduced and building a game. You remember when we had that interview with the same Jessica lady? When she talk about, building props, what do you mean like building grass? She's like, yeah, my money. That's like, yo, I want to start to build grass and cloud and thing, and let me start small.
Yeah.
So it is a money-making thing, and as I would always say, the older folks, yes, I'm talking about you who are listening to me right now, who's shaking it. Yes, I'm talking about you in the kitchen. Yes. Listen, esports is not what you think it is or what you feel it is. Yes, it's gaming. However, it is not what you knew it to be. Long time when I was playing game on the little pyong thing, so what you call that again? On the little square thing? Whatever you call the Game Boy. But the old version. Not the new version. Not our version. The green one. Right? The old one.
Okay.
That was the one.
All right.
So listen, it is not that. Please come down from there a little bit. Yeah? So, I mean, for you who are listening right now, it is not only about gaming itself. It's about 1, making money, 2, even developing the youth's minds when it comes to critical thinking. And that is one of the main aspects.
And there are games for that. Right now, Roblox, Fortnite have developer modes where you can actually create your own games.
What?
And develop yourself. You buy the points, you create, you get your server, you build your world, and you let other people try to play it as well. And you never know, it could reach somewhere where, hey, they actually contact you to say, we like this world, here what's going on. We go help you.
You get the resources, build it for me.
Build it for me. Do something on that level. So it's a constant. For me, people constantly come to do that. They purchase it, they go and they develop, and yeah.
Because I mean, now that you mentioned that, I was coming to ask you if esports can help students who aren't academically inclined to find purpose or confidence or even career paths. And you just said it there without me even asking.
Yeah.
Because it happens. If you are, let's say, for instance, you are playing that game at the developer version and someone picks it up out there internationally and they say, well, wait now, I like your idea, I like your style, I like what you use here. Listen, I'm going to give you all you need. Build X for me. And that is how it starts. Yeah. And that's what needs to happen.
Just a random person see what is going on and they say, we like that idea. Come, let's talk.
Are there any real success stories? And I don't want to say in the Caribbean. Now, I know of Shavana. Right. But any other success stories or youths who've made it big through esports, either as players, streamers, or even business owners?
In Trinidad?
Yeah.
There's that boy Chris. I know he's more into the GTA, the Grand Theft Auto. There's a Grand Theft Auto online.
Grand Theft Auto?
There's a Grand Theft Auto online where you can, on the PC version, you can actually create different things. You know, you could create some section of Trinidad and Tobago in GTA Online.
What are you saying?
You put a maxi taxi in the game. Men created those Red Band maxi in the game.
What?
They do a literal car show. They did an actual carnival fete.
In the
game, in the GTA game.
Wow.
So he got popular on that, and once he started that, it just started to blow up, and other people wanted to try to do it and develop it more.
Right.
So there are a lot of people right now who getting a lot popular on Twitch, on YouTube, just bringing our culture into the game, and then other people see what it is going on and also want to be a part of it. So anytime he online, they want to be online and jumping on and being a part of it.
But that's real nice. What's his name, Chris?
I think it's that boy Christian. I think it's on Instagram.
That boy Christian.
He's a lot. He loves FIFA and these other things, but that is the one game I can remember. He's very popular and he's big now. Well, I'm not sure if he was big then, but I could see from where he was in terms of followers to now, it's completely different.
It's completed. Nice. Let's talk about tourism. What does it take to host a world-class esport event, and what infrastructure do you think that we are missing here in Trinidad and Tobago for that?
Money. Money, definitely.
Well,
because I have an event. Well, I had an event. I haven't done it in a few years, called Gate, where we actually brought people from the other countries to compete, and I actually created a championship belt, everything, where they have to win. I think it was Street Fighter and different games, Smash Brothers, and they had to come and win it.
Yeah.
Title belt, you you're rating this guy, you win the competition. Yeah. So it is possible. I did it, but again, the community needs to come out.
Right.
If they don't, it will just stay niche. It won't expand out there. So yeah, government backing obviously is one, but I could for example, you know how we go to the countries and advertise Trinidad and Tobago as a tourism spot?
Yeah.
If you could do the same thing in those big gaming competitions to say, hey, come to Trinidad, come to Tobago for a big competition. It's a nice, hot, you have beaches, you have carnival. Probably put it.
You're playing game on the beach.
Play game on the beach.
Game on the beach.
Go by a hotel.
Yeah.
You play the game.
Yeah.
You go by the beach. You enjoy the sightseeing. Yeah. And then you go home and you have good things to talk about the country. If we do it in that way, I am sure we could see a big jump in tourism in the country. Not just carnival, but different things, different parts of the year. And
something that we have been talking about right here on this station is about diversifying the economy. This is one way through gaming, through esports. If we want to go all the way there, because now that you mention it, people love coming here, And if I like to game and I say, but wait, now I've never really heard about Trinidad, but it have a big gaming place, I feel I'm gonna make the trek. And when you come down here and you see the infrastructure, the place, the beaches, you say, but wait, now you're gonna call up your partner, You're sure going to call up partner? Hey, listen, it's having a tournament down here in Trinidad. Let me go. I went, it was nice, and that's how the things go. But I mean, as you mentioned before, to me, and this is just Carrie V, I think that they are not open-minded enough and they are not receptive. And when I say they, I mean the persons in authority who can make that change. Yeah?
Correct. Yeah.
So just about a few questions before we wrap up, because look where's the time already, almost 4 minutes away from 11 o'clock. That's how the thing does go, right? You think Trinidad and Tobago is a little too slow to catch up on tech innovation, or is now the perfect time to lead the region in esports?
Now would be the perfect time.
Why?
For one, it could be the new government. Let me put it that way.
Aye.
So we start fresh. This is the new year. We have 5 years to play with, right? Let me see how far it can actually reach before the next election come and probably
things change
things change again.
Yeah.
So try to develop it from now. Get the structure that we need, and find out who exactly we need to talk to get it done. Not put me to this other guy and this other guy.
And the whole runabout. But that's what you mentioned before, because you have the will to do it. But when you go there, you have to go here, there, back to come back in Port Swing, go down Ikakas and come back, but it doesn't make any sense. And to me, that feel like a little, let me just get here out of my sight, yes, and let me just set them on a witch hunt.
A few months later, doing the same thing
again over and over. And how long would you do that for? I hope you don't get tired and frustrated though.
No.
I hope you keep at it.
No, this is my favorite thing to do. Isaac Grongs, man. I like to do the run around.
The run around and
talking
thing.
And
get
involved with
all
people.
Right, that makes sense. If we don't act now, do you think we lose our best talent to countries already embracing esports more seriously?
Yes. We are small already, and the other countries are getting their recognition from their governments.
Right.
I think it was last year or year before, Barbados Prime Minister actually went to one of their gaming events in Barbados and saw what was going on and say, yes, we need to develop this. This is something that can actually bring jobs to the country, and we have to look that way as well. We have to do something similar. We can't, same thing, we can't be reactive.
And Barbados small, eh?
And Barbados small. We have to be proactive in everything we do.